Hey guys, welcome aboard a new deep playthrough of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Before I start, I have to say that I have a tendency to start talking really loud and pretty fast, and that is because I have the headset on and the in-game volume is pretty loud, and I automatically tend to want to hear myself speak, and then I start blaring into the microphone. So if I do that, I will try to mind that and keep the volume a bit down. But yeah, maybe I can derail a bit, and then I will be talking loud and quick. But yeah, so then that's my disclaimer to start with. I'm also doing a lot of other playthroughs which I didn't finish yet. For instance, Metal Gear Solid series, Hitman series, many other games, Tomb Raider, Gran Turismo. But yeah, I'm doing those deep playthroughs, so I really am a bit OCD. I really try to get through them all very thoroughly, and that means they are quite long. And for a change of scenery, then I end up often mid playthrough starting other ones. And I again couldn't help myself with this game because I'm not really like a flight simulator player. Last time I played the flight sim was like years ago. But this game looked so cool, and I must say I'm really happy that I got it. It is amazing. It's really like I would say next step into gaming development in general. This is, I think, just as revolutionary as Crysis was 10 plus years ago. Crysis made that really big leap in graphical fidelity, like it was, can my PC run Crysis? This is the next game that really sets that benchmark, or that new benchmark, and not so much only in graphic fidelity, but also the new way of tackling a game, like loading in real-time data. The game is composed of Bing Maps, or based on Bing Maps, like Google Maps data, but also the weather is loaded in, streamed in real time from the actual real-life weather, and also the air traffic. And that is pretty amazing if you think about it, and it could well be that general game development will go in that direction, that developers, for instance, of Grand Theft Auto or Red Dead Redemption, that they will not create imaginary fictional places and maps, but actually will just import Google Maps, take a city from it, and base the game inside that real life, true to life city. And that is really something that now really is becoming possible. And I think this game, FS220, Microsoft Flight Simulator 220, really is the first game that goes that direction. In that sense, I really kudos to the developers, Oi Bodos or whatever they're called, I always forget. Or maybe I can see that over here. Is this their developer page? No, not really, but anyways, amazing. So it will, normally I do deep playthroughs like as thoroughly as possible with side objectives, collectibles, blah blah blah. Of course, you don't have a campaign in this game, no collectibles. It's really about selecting a destination, a departure point and a destination point, and just make the trip and enjoy the ride. So that's what I will be doing. I will be doing, as always, max graphical settings, 4K HDR, everything turned up to the max, and I'm also recording it on the same PC, and I must say it holds up pretty well with a 9900K processor and 280 Ti graphics cards. I did max the frame rate to 30 FPS, but I think that's still well playable. It keeps a bit of headroom for the graphics card to avoid stuttering when the frame rate fluctuates a lot. And 30 FPS when you're in the cockpit, it's sufficient for me. So it will be max graphics, only 30 FPS instead of 60 FPS. And I will be playing it as realistic as possible. So I will be doing. I'm no experienced sim player. I'm no pilot. but I try to, what I think is the real life method, I will incorporate that in the game. So I will be doing checklists. I will try to get ATC clearances and stuff like that, air traffic control clearances. I will not start on the runway and just shoot out straight away, but I will start at a parking spot at the airport and taxi to the runway, stuff like that. So it will be max settings, max difficulty, or realistic difficulty, so to say. There's not really a difficulty slider, although I do think there is. I put that all on hard over here. Yeah, these are all kinds of aids that gives like guidance and blah blah blah, and I put them all off. I will spare you because I tend to really have these intros way too long, like 20 minutes to half an hour. I will spare you all the details here, but I turn it all off. Maybe I will put some notifications on later on to just get some tips and tricks on the controls, like the nuances, but for now I will just keep it off. Then over here, this is the menu. This is where we will be going, the world map, selecting our destinations. These are some challenges, this one and this one. I will not do challenges now. I will just do a flight from Amsterdam to London Heathrow. This is like the news, the news screen with little news. How do they call this? Yeah, news. With news bulletins. And this is a training area, and I already did this offline to get a bit of grips with the game. It is really basic. You can do it in half an hour or something. It's about basic controls, the attitude of the airplane, that is whether it's banking left or right or pitching up and down, the instrument panel, takeoff, landing, traffic pattern, that's when you have to approach an airport and you have to wait, for instance, to get clearance to land actually. Then you can circle around the airport, and that's called for starting from the top of the runway, it is the crosswind section, because you always land parallel to the wind direction. So going to the left here, it's crosswinds. This is the downwind section. Then you have here the base when you turn left again. And then if you turn left again, you have the final approach, and then you can initiate your landing. So that was this lesson. This is like a solo flight with an just a little short 10-minute solo flights. Navigation, this is where they teach you your heading, like north, northwest, with degrees, and also under visual flight rules, just paying attention to landmarks like a golf course or a highway to be able to orientate yourself. And this was the another 10-minute little solo navigation flight. So I already did that. We'll quickly run you through the option settings. So general, yeah, these are the graphics, 4K, everything maxed over here. Camera, actually all these settings, it is all default. Maybe I will bump up the vehicle density, the aircraft and the boats and the road vehicles density. I will bump it up, but for now it looked pretty good as is. Data will be streamed in from my online connection, like the weather and the air traffic. Flight model, that is default. Miscellaneous, that's about your avatar, and the language is English. Accessibility, these are some, like you can make your text bigger and stuff, all pretty much default. And this is the developer section, which is not needed. So those were the options, or at least the general options. Then here the assistance, I already run you through this one or touched upon it. It's mostly turned off. I will quickly run you through it. Like these are some assistant piloting controls. Here are some aircraft systems that are automatic, all off. No automatic lights. I will all put that all, and the fuel, I will do that manual. 1 second. Failure and damage. yeah, if I crash the airplane, is that's all enabled. It will all be yeah, it will game over if I crash. Icing effect, pretty cool. That is all engine stress. Everything is enabled. Then we go to navigation aids. Taxi ribbon might be handy because actually I already started this playthrough earlier tonight, but I wasn't really happy with yeah, the output because I was really messing about a lot with some control configuration that was not really tweaked well, and also with finding my way on the airport itself while taxiing. I got totally lost. And then I watched online, and actually what people said is you actually have to download airport maps, and then you can make your way across the taxi lanes. So I did that. I have that now on my mobile phone, so that will make use of that later on. If I really get lost, you can, for instance, enable the taxi ribbon and stuff, or a landing path, but it is all off for me now. Airport markers, fauna markers, everything is off. It's all like unimmersive in my view. I want to be as immersive and realistic as possible. Notifications, so these are some tips. I have turned them off for now, but maybe I will put them on just to get some yeah, the tips and tricks on the like the more exotic game mechanics. But maybe I will do that offline because I really want to have the screen the less clutter on screen as possible. I really want to only see the realistic, beautiful game world and the cockpit. Then over here we have the user experience. These are, yeah, the air traffic control, it's on of course, and these are the checklist, the map, your navigation log, and the ATC communication panel, air traffic control. It is now open at start. Now I want this off. I will use the air traffic control, but I can open it myself via hotkey, so I don't need the game to do that for me. Message log in ATC menu, nope. ATC voice is on, checklist panel open, nope, I will open that one myself. VFR map and log, I will also be able to open all these UI elements myself if needed. So that is more or less about this. Let's save it. Sorry, I'm probably talking way too loud again, but it's just, yeah, I cannot help myself. And here are the controls, and I configured them for an Xbox 360 controller, and I gotta tell you, I went through them all, and it really took me a day to really see. It was also like a learning lesson to see what all the different control options are in this game. And if you can see, I'm now scrolling through it slowly from top till bottom, but it is amazingly much. It's a lot. But I went through them all and it really took me a day, but I do think I have quite a comfortable setup now, an intuitive control scheme, so I'm happy with that. Yeah, so that is about the controls. I mapped them, mostly the primary ones to the controller, and also some keyboard keys are used. And what is really cool about this whole setup is that you can really assign a lot of controls, even with the limited inputs of the controller, because you can do like double controls. For instance, toggle the flashlight in the cockpit. I will just press the A button plus D-pad up. Well, D-pad up itself, without A, has its own how do you say it? Output or mechanic or control. No, it's not control, the function. It has its own function, so to say. So this was the control about that. Let's go back. And these were the assistants, the controls, general. So pretty much quickly walk you through it. Marketplace, yeah, you can buy liveries here and stuff. I already have all the official DLC from Microsoft. I think it's called the Definitive Edition or something. So with all the available DLC, airports and airplanes, I found a good price for it. And maybe later on I might be downloading more stuff for a year, but for now I have way sufficient content as it is. This is my profile. I already looked a couple of flight hours 10 hours because of yeah, the footage that I recorded earlier and I discarded, and also because of the tutorial that I did offline. My hangar, yeah, I don't really have any planes yet. Content manager, nope. And this is my logbook. I haven't checked this out yet, but this is my full logbook, I assume. But let's check that out later. So now what we're going to do now is create the the flights that we will be undertaking. This game is under its skin very elaborate, also with all those control mechanics. It was almost like a bible of control inputs. But what is really nice is that the actual menu interface, getting into a flight, it's really basic. Here, you just click a plane, you select your departure airport, your arrival airport, you set the flight conditions, and you're good to go. And yeah, that's yeah, really nice menu, I must say. And it's also pretty cool over here. This is where you select yeah, your airports, and yeah, you can check your route, and it is pretty real time. This is we will put already the flight conditions. I won't do multiplayer. This is an offline experience, but I will have real life air traffic, and I will also put real life weather in time. So that does mean that this first flight of me will be in the dark, because I am in the Netherlands and it is already almost 1 o'clock AM over here. But I now put the time to realistic, and then this should also be a realistic view of the world. It's pretty cool. I never conceptualized the world like this in my mind, but it really looks like this. You have at one side, you have like the sun, and the other side fully in the shadow, or yeah, not in the sun. And yeah, that's how the world looks where we are all now. I don't know where you are. I am currently over here, but it's amazing, amazing interface, I must say. So we set the flight conditions. Let's check the plane. We will be going with the plane that I also did the training in, the smallest plane in the game, I think. For the rest, we have like huge planes. We have like big jumbo jets, stunt planes. This one I also really want to try. This is like I think the most high performance propeller plane available. It's a really cool plane in my view. We have some more stunt planes, and then we all go all the way to the right, and we go, I think, to the smaller, lighter planes. That's not entirely true, because this one looks pretty big as well. But then we end up where we are. Here you have the Gulfstream jets, it seems. They're Cessnas. That's all for later, once I get more the hang of it. But now this plane, I know it's, in my view, I think the smallest and easiest plane in the game. It will probably be a little bit too small to fly to London, but let's just see how far we get. So this will be our plane. We cannot do any liveries. There's only one livery. Weight and balance. It's more or less, I will be putting a full load of fuel in there. And this is the pilot, and the front packs, I think it's shorthand for passenger. I will put that to 0 because I will be flying solo, and it will also save some fuel. And you actually also see this is I think the weight distribution. I checked out these abbreviations. I don't really remember what they were, but this has to do with weight distribution. But it looks still good enough, if to me. So this is the airplane. Full fuel failures. You can enable them or disable them. For now, we'll keep them disabled in my first flight. And the only thing that I find a bit of a pity is that you cannot have like random failures. You can only enable them, and then I think you can set a time in which a time frame you want them to occur. But that is not really truly random. You know they will occur. And I would really like to have the ability to have like, okay, maybe I want a 1% chance that some system will fail. That is like more like true to life, but maybe I can still fake randomness by putting this time frame really long. Like for instance, it fails in between 0 minutes and 900 minutes or something. I'm not sure, but I will look into that in a later flight. So for now it's disabled. And here we have the ATC options. We have to put our numbers. So let's do 88. Call sign, let's do just Rombbb 88. Then we have heavy flight number. Let's also do 88. Append heavy to call sign. That's only for like jumbo jets and really bigger aircraft above a certain tonnage. That's not applicable for our mini Cessna. And the tail number is visible, so that's fine. So that concludes the aircraft selection. Here we go. And what I also wanted to say is that really, aviation flight sims, it really is like a rabbit hole. The controls, to configure them correctly, it took me more than a day. And why also did it take so long is because the aviation world is really glued together by abbreviations. And so you just check Google for an abbreviation, and in the description of that abbreviation there are like 10 other abbreviations, and then you dive into those descriptions, and those have other abbreviations in them as well. And before you know it, you are like stuck into some kind of a Google wormhole of Wikipedia articles trying to figure out, to make sense a bit of it all. But I did note quite a lot of them down on the little note I have in front of me. So that will help out for sure. Just like the alphabet in aviation, you have to use the phonetic alphabet. You cannot just say, I will use runway AB05. You have to say Alpha Bravo 05. So I also had to put some time into memorizing that whole phonetic alphabet. I still don't think I have it down. I will try it now just for fun. Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta Echo Foxtrot. I'm already stuck. What the hell is the G? I have it here. I have a little how do you say it? Cheat sheet. But I will just go through it one more time. I will read it up. Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta Echo Foxtrot Golf Hotel India Juliet Kilo Lima Mike November Oscar Papa Quebec Romeo Sierra Tango Uniform Victor Whiskey X-Ray Yankee and Zulu. I think I have half or maybe 75% of them down, but the 25% I keep on forgetting. But yeah, so it are all those things that really you do need some preparation to really get into this whole aviation mode, but it's really cool. But for instance, one thing I already forgot, maybe I will check it now just for fun of it. Let's make it a learning moment. That over here, that LMAC and TMAC. I forgot my timer, by the way. I will put that on now. Let's make it a little learning moment. And we'll probably have to do that more often in this playthrough. But I really like it also learning about these terms and abbreviations. So LMAC is... Oh, 1 second. TMAC, LMAC. Center of gravity. Now I remember. It is leading edge and trailing edge. That is LE and ME. But now what's the MAC? Mean aerodynamic chords. What the hell is that? 1 second. Oh man, my telephone is really going down. The width of the wing or straight line distance from the leading edge to the trailing edge on an airplane is known as the chord, the chords. So that's the middle of the wing. The average length of the chord, or mag, of a tapered wing is more complicated to define than if the leading edge and trailing edge are parallel, then the chord is equal. But if they are not parallel, leading and trailing edge, so the front and the back side of the wing, if they are not parallel, the chord is a bit harder to figure out. But so that is leading edge mean aerodynamic chords and trailing edge mean aerodynamic chords. So that's another one for the books. But that has to do something with, I guess, weight distribution. So what was I talking about? The alphabet and the abbreviation. It really took quite some time, but yeah, it is what it is. So let's start our route. We depart from Schiphol, Amsterdam. I will be starting from a general aviation, so not commercial aviation. General aviations are like the private smaller aircraft as opposed to the commercial big jets. So I will be starting from a Rombbb general aviation, and then hopefully with medium. I want a Rombbb that is medium. I'm not really sure what this large or medium refers to, whether that is just the area of the Rombbb itself, or whether it refers to the type of aircraft on there. But I will just go with medium, and then let's just take this one, Rombbb general aviation medium. And then over here we have the destination airport, Heathrow. And let's also maybe find one of those ramps. Ramp, large gates. No, I don't want to go to a gate. I want a ramp, because I really feel it's not realistic if I, as like a little Cessna, go to a gate. So this pretty much is about it. This is the log, what we will be doing. We have to fly, where's the distance? I don't really see the total distance. It used to be here somewhere. Here. Yeah. So yeah, I probably just have to add these three. So it's 200 nautical miles. So that is about I think 380 kilometers. Quite a distance in an airplane that, let's just see, goes 100 miles approximately max, or cruise speed. But it is what it is. By the way, when I initially started playing, I tried to see how high I could get above the North Sea. That will be what we will be flying in a moment. I couldn't get it above 9,000 feet. Apparently this plane is capable of 14,700 feet. Not really sure what that is all about, but it is what it is. So let's go back. These are the frequencies, but we will check that automatic in the ATC menu. This was the navlog, 200 nautical miles we will be going. Here's the total distance. And it will actually be 1 hour 52 minutes. And it's now 1 AM already. I probably will not be able to do this in one sitting, but we will just see how far we get. I think we are good to go, more or less. Live weather, live traffic, destination airports, departure airport, aircraft. We're good to go. Here we go. Alright, Schiphol Airport. I'm just trying to get some information on the mixture setting for the engine. We have to also do that manually later on. And I really had no idea what the best setting would be. 1 second. I am again screwing up over here with the timer. Yes, here we are in Amsterdam, my hometown. It's a bit jerky, I must say now, but once we get going, it should. Holy shit, it's really jerky. Didn't used to be like this at all. Maybe it's loading in assets or something. I have it's a bit better now already. Anyways, we are in the airplane. Our fuel should be good, but we will check that later. Yeah, the mixture setting, that is this button over here. We have to do that manually, and I was thinking, well, while I was playing this earlier, yeah, I really couldn't climb that high, only till 8,000 feet or something. So maybe that was due to the mixture setting. So I will be checking that later on, what the optimal way of setting it is. Anyways, for now, let's get some light in here. This is my flashlight. That's pretty handy. And that is Bill over there. Bill is the aircraft handler, and that is who's that? I cannot recognize him. Ah, cool. Finally, I see a plane landing. That's the only gripe I've had a bit with like this real-time traffic stuff. Is that it really seemed way too quiet on the airport. Like in the 2 hours that I've played here, I hardly saw any aircraft land or take off. But now, happily, there is one over there, and also pretty cool with like the. I hope. Let's check that out. Realistic liveries. This is my zoom button. I still have to get to grips with the controls a bit, or with all the hotkeys. They're quite a lot. What the hell is this? Oh, my telephone is ringing, but I will leave that for now. Anyways, over there we have the airport tower. We will be starting with the checklist. So let's do that now. Here we go. We start with before. I've already done this quite a lot now because of the discarded footage. I really started like 2 or 3 times over. So I do start to get this down a bit. Anyways, fuel shut-off valve needs to be open, and that is the one over here. So we will put that open, and we will tick off the item. It's ticked. Test brakes. Right, I'm testing them now, and I'm also testing the parking brake. Pretty good. Although I cannot really test the brakes, of course, while stationary, so I'm not really sure why this is like a pre-startup test. I would think that brakes, you only test them while you're in motion, but whatever. Page complete. We go to the next one, starting the engine. For starting the engine, the mixture must be rich. So that is over there, that's rich. Carburetor, that's over here. The heat setting needs to be cold. That is carburetor heat. I think you only use that for if you are in cold conditions and you have the risk of ice and stuff getting into your intake channels, then you heat up the carburetor, I think. Then we need to, so let's tick these off. Ticked, carburetor heat ticked. Then we go to priming the fuel into the carburetors, I assume. We have to pull it 3 times. A little manual pump action. Done. Throttle needs to be open 1/2 inch. So that will be, yeah, let's put it to over here. Seems to be fine. Tag checked. Then the master switch needs to go on. This is for the alternator. That's like generating power. And here we have the, what was this one again? The battery. Alright. Those are on. We have power. Very nice. Then we do the... No, don't we need to set the magneto as well? That's over here, I think. We need to start, so yeah, enable the ignition. So first it's the magneto. I think that are the, in aviation engines or older ones, that is what like a spark plug is, or an ignition system, ignition coil and stuff in a car. That is done by magnetos in an airplane engine, I think because of their reliability. We have 2 of them for redundancy probably, I don't know. And then we go to both, and now we hit the start button and start the aircraft. Let's quickly see if there's, let's do it realistic. Nobody who can be injured by us starting this monster of an airplane. Nope. So let's go along. Nice. Here we go. And let's put the yoke back. So, tick the box. Throttle needs to be 1000 RPMs or less. So I need to, that's the throttle thingy. Let's do it a little bit less. A little bit more. It's pretty hard to get this done a little bit consistent. Still don't really have it down, but whatever. Either I give too much throttle or I give too little throttle. Anyways, take the item. Oil pressure must be in the green section. Oil pressure is right over there. And it's now, yeah, not really in the green, but that's because we are this low on the RPMs. As soon as I do more RPMs, like this, it gets into the green. So that's good enough for me, I would say. Oh shit. Were we actually moving or not? I had the parking brake on, right? Yes, I had the brake on. Anyways, let's get some more RPMs going. No, more. Yeah, like a little bit less. This is fine. So we have oil in the green section, I would say. Good enough. Let's tick the box. And then the last one is actually, I do like that one. I find it a pretty cool one. It's the, wait, then we go back. God damn it, this window, it's just, now it's okay. Last one is the lighting. And I mapped the lighting really to my controller to have easy access, at least the internal lighting, and the external lighting I mapped it to direct buttons on the keyboard without any combinations, so it's really easier to remember. I really want to have easy access to the lights, especially inside, because for me this really, it's a small thing, but it's really immersive that I can like quickly put the flashlight on, and I also have like the full cabin lights over here. So that is pretty fun. And on bigger jets you even have more light settings, like the pedestal lights and the glare shield lights. There are all kinds of light settings. But for now I only have 2 internals, but outside there are some more lights. I can put them all on. That's like this. But I can also put them on like individually. And of course in this game there aren't that many lights. What's the one back there? I wonder what that one is. Ah, that's the beacon. Anyways, I will be, I can configure those lights all individually, but in this game I have like more light options mapped than is available in this aircraft, because of course, oh, wrong button, it's a pretty basic aircraft. Over there, oh, again wrong button, a bit of an idiot. 1 second, we do like so, and we do like so, there we go. We have the navigation lights over here. We have the strobe lights, and the navigation are, I think, the blue and the whites, and the blue and the reds on the wings. Left red, green, blue. I think that's the same as in shipping. Then over here we have the strobe lights. Pretty sure. What is the strobe light then? Doesn't. Ah, that is the little white light next to the navigation one on both sides of the wings. So that one, that's the strobe. And then over here we have the beacon, and the beacon is the one on the tail section. So we have those covered. Then I also have like this one. That is the I don't really understand it. 1 second. This is like a small light. It can also be bigger. Ah, now I understand. Because you have like taxi lights and landing lights, I think. So this is probably the G, is the landing lights, and this one is the taxi light, I think. And I was confused earlier because I had this light on, and if I press G, nothing happened. I didn't see any extra light. I only saw the reflection of the light change. But that's like a little bit of a bug in the game. It changes the reflection even if you have that other light enabled, but that reflection, that is purely for these two lights, and if you have one of them enabled and you click the other one, the reflection changes but the light itself does not. So that's a bit weird, but so this is F and G, and now I am, sorry but I am curious, F and G, which is which. So let's quickly check that out. We go to here, we go to lights, we go to exterior lights, and we have the F and, or was it J and G? Yeah, it was J and G. So J is taxi lights, and then G must be landing lights. Yeah, G is landing lights. So G is landing and J is taxi. So I will also put on J. And what I find a bit weird is that there is no... Ah, is this the taxi lights? Yes, here. There. I was already thinking... Ah, and here are the landing lights. I didn't know that these buttons were here, but they are, so... yeah, we will be putting on the taxi lights and the landing lights. Let's put them on once we are on the runway. So this pretty much yeah, is it for the light sources. So let's tick the item over here, and we are complete. Then this checklist over here, this is more for when you really get airborne on the runway. So I will be doing this just before entering the runway. And that concludes the checklist for now. And then, I think for now we will be going with the ATC tower. Let's tune in. We need to get the weather report. Let's do that now.
Schiphol Airport information, Quebec 2300 Zulu. Wind 210 at 8. Visibility 6. Sky condition, few clouds at 1,200 feet, few clouds at 4,100 feet, few clouds at 11,900 feet. Temperature 14. 2.10. Altimeter 30.06. ILS runway 27 in use. Landing and departing runway 27. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact you have Quebec. Schiphol Airport information, Romeo 2300 Zulu. Wind 210 at 8. Visibility 6. Sky condition, few clouds at 1,200 feet, few clouds at 4,100 feet, few clouds at 11,900 feet. Temperature 14. 2.10. Altimeter 30.06. ILS runway 27 in use. Landing and departing runway 27. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact.
1 second. Request taxi. Where the hell? June Schiphol clearance. Wait, this I don't. Yeah, this is also my first time. Where the hell am I now connected to? Now we are Schiphol clearance. This is for IFR, but let's just go, that's like instrument flight rules. I will just try to go with visual flight rules. I don't even know the exact difference. I know that instruments you can fly like into the clouds and bad weather on instruments alone. It's easier to get a VFR certification than IFR, I would assume. I'm just a starter, so I will do VFR, visual flight rules. Then you fly more like with landmarks and like your compass, and it seems to be pretty clear, so that seems to be pretty okay. What I find a bit weird, what I found, is if I do the taxi lights, you really see like on that stairs machine in front of us, that elevator vehicle, you see the reflection. But if I toggle the landing lights, which are way more bright, you don't see anything. Yeah, or much less. It's a bit weird. But whatever, let's keep the taxi lights on. It's a smaller light, but apparently with more reflection. For now, what I did when I first went here, I went to request IFR clearance, but I now accidentally clicked on Schiphol grounds, and that gave quite some cool options, I would say. Depart request taxi. We want to depart west. Taxi to parking and fuel options. Oh, by the way, let's check our fuel level. Let's double check it before we go. Like so and like so. Yes, there are the two fuel meters. They look pretty fine. One thing I also wanted to check out, is there some kind of an exhaust gas meter? Because I read that might be relevant for the mixture control. These are the amps of the electricity. This is some extra compass. That is the RPM. That are the flight hours. Over there we have cabin heating controls, cabin air. I don't really see anything related to exhaust gas actually. But whatever. It's a pretty basic airplane. I really do like it for a starter plane. We even have like this super deluxe phone over there. What do you want more? And we have an ashtray. How comfortable everything is. Anyways, I'm gonna request a taxi depart west. Here we go.
Skip Hall ground Rombbb 8888 with Romeo request taxi for takeoff west departure. Rombbb 8888 taxi to and hold short of runway 27 via taxiway Charlie Bravo Echo 5 cross runway 18 left Echo 5 Echo 4 November 1. Contact tower on 118.28 when ready.
Alright, and this is where I got really confused in the previous, my discarded footage. Finding that taxiway, that is really pretty damn hard. But now I downloaded this map. And I do know where all a lot of the taxiways are. So we need to go. We need to
Rombbb 8888 acknowledge last transmission.
Yes, I will acknowledge that.
Taxiing hold short runway 27 using taxiway Charlie Bravo Echo 5 cross runway 18 left Echo 5 Echo 4 November 1 Rombbb 8888.
1 second, I'm just checking out that hold short command. What the hell does that mean? To stay off the runway if aircraft are inbound and about to land or lined up for takeoff, taking off. You hold short behind the so-called hold short line. Right, but it says hold short means to stay off the runway if aircraft are inbound and about to land or lined up for takeoff. But that means I could just get, I don't know if an aircraft is about to land. But whatever. Let's worry about that later. So I assume it means I could just get onto the runway. But what I don't understand, it says hold short runway 27 using taxiway CBE5 and then cross runway 18 left and then do Echo 5 Echo 4 November 1. 1 second. Here, taxi to and hold short of runway 27 via taxiway blah blah blah. It's actually, it's a different command that I got in my earlier attempt. Then it actually mentioned 2 runways and I was a bit confused which one they meant. But now, no, it now also mentions 2. But 18L, I assume I only have to cross it or something. Anyways, I assume that 27 is the one we need to be getting to. So I have the airport map over here, but the problem is I'm not really sure where I am currently. On the airfield. So that makes it pretty hard to figure out where to go. But what I will be doing is trying to see if I can see any markers, and I also have like this smart cam, and it says we need to go into that direction that I'm now looking at. Wait, if I look over there, do the smart cam, yes, it says over there. So let's just try to get there. The only thing that is a little bit broken in this first release of Microsoft Flight Simulator is actually the rudder controls. They are really all or nothing. While they are mapped to analog, the access, like the trigger buttons on the Xbox controller, it really is on or off. So that makes like navigating on the ground, where you have to steer via the rudders, super jerky. It's really going hard left and hard right. It's pretty annoying, but whatever. Sure, it feels like the engine is a bit stuttering. I will do a little bit less rich, like so. For now, the idea is to find taxiway C. It could be easier said than done, to be honest. God damn it, I wonder if real life pilots, pretty cool how the stabilizers light up because of the beacon lights. I wonder if real life pilots are also this lost. Probably it's all about preparation. And I did prepare a bit by getting a map, but I forgot that, of course, I'm not really sure where I'm at myself relative to the runway. So as long as I find a runway that would really help, then I have a reference point. Holy shit, holy shit, is this grass? What the hell is this? Yeah, I don't want to go over there. That will be a game over, I'm pretty sure. Now, I really got to say, it could have been a bit clearer. Probably pilots have like GPS on their phone and stuff, and they can easily find their way, just like a route planner. I will just follow this line. This is probably a good thing, right? Yeah, this seems to be good. have a sign. That's what I was looking for. What does it say? We're going uphill here. It's a bit annoying. Alright, it says C to the left or to the right. And let's check our super cam. It says we need to go to the right, the super cam, and let's check the ATC log. It says hold short of runway 27 using taxiway C and then B and then E5. 1 second. Just gonna see where E5 is. So I see on my map where C is. Man, this is really like confusing. Because the B taxiway runs over the whole place. One second, guys. E5. I do see E5 over here. Runway 22. Runway 27. Yes, that's 27. So E5. We now can get onto taxiway. 1 second. This is 36C. And it is 36L runway. Nope. And then where is runway 18? R 22. Where the hell is our runway? 27. But it says cross runway 18 left. To be quite honest, on the map that I have here, 18R I see. Maybe there's also an 18L. 18C. Let's check this one. 624. No. 18L. Ah, okay. I see the runway. So we need to cross that one and yeah, just see where we end up. It's quite confusing. I will, if I would be playing it offline, I would be probably going into it a bit deeper, but for the sake of the video, I am just going to go and follow this C path. I assume this is a taxiway. It's pretty narrow. What I do notice, by the way, is that those planes, they are all pretty detailed, but it almost looks like the windows are not rendered. It almost looks like they don't have windows. It's a bit weird. Anyways, do we want to go to the left here? C2. Now I know why it's stuttering. I think it's just my headset. It's not connected well. Alright, here we go. Let's just go straight ahead over here. Or do I need to follow white lights? I'm not really sure. Yeah, I think so. This is not a taxiway, right? It's too narrow. Or maybe it is. Just check it out. Seems to be a runway to the left, but I'm not really sure. Alright, here we go. Here we go. No more talking around. Nah, this is not a runway where I'm at. I wanted to make a left here, but this is pretty sure it will be game over if I go onto that muddy section. Alright, no choice but to continue on. Here we go. On our way to London. God damn it. How exciting. Wonder whether this is a taxiway. And I do notice that light sources are a bit buggy in this game. There are just like, I don't really see like a lamp post. They're just like floating lights over there. I guess you cannot have it all. Right, can we now get back to yes, this was not a taxiway, I'm pretty sure, or at least if it is, then it is pretty narrow. This is the taxiway. Right. There we go. Put the handbrake. Guys, I have to end this episode here. In the next one, I will immediately continue in the next one. Then hopefully we will be taking off towards London Heathrow. Hope you enjoyed the flight so far, although we didn't really get into the air yet, but it is what it is. Hope to see you in the next one, and for the meantime, do not forget, you yourself always do keep on gaming. See you later.